From the latest in professional wrestling in AEW, WWE, NWA, Impact Wrestling, or the world of entertainment. From hit TV shows to your favorite sports like the NBA or NFL. All things music, movies, and beyond, while trying to make sense of this crazy world we live in. All while keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive since 2011. And now your host, live from the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Hey everybody, what is going on? Lee Sanders with you all for this Saturday morning of October 11th, 2025. We are minutes removed from WWE Crown Jewel out there in Perth, Australia. Sound off, let me know what you had thought about this premium event. Oh my God, I'm telling you. I hope it's going to be a good minute before I have to do this again. I know for some people, like, if you're like me and you're a little bit more up there in age, you kind of going, you already know where I'm getting at. And for you younger folks, y'all got it made right now for at least the next 20-something years, if not a little bit more, because the older you get, the more you are into a certain routine. You're used to going to bed at a certain time. You used to getting up at a certain time. And then when you got to do something crazy, like checking out a wrestling show that starts live at 8 in the morning, but I dare not complain because, man, my people in the United States that's over on the West Coast, they had to wake up for this thing at 5 in the morning. So it's kind of one of those, crazy type of deals. But now the older you get, the more you are set in a certain routine. And when you have a monkey wrench like this, for an example, it just, for some, it's nothing. They just need a day and they can get back on track. For others, it takes them several days, a week or two. But somehow I tell you what, I powered through that. I was fighting sleep. I am not gonna lie to you guys. I wanted to roll over and get more sleep. The show was good. Couple of areas that kind of left me, but overall the show was good. Sound off. Let me know what you had thought about WWE Crown Jewel Perth, Australia. Let's jump right into it. This is your post show. I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend right now. I know at the time that we are doing this show, we are pretty much going into Columbus Day weekend, or as it's otherwise known, Indigenous People Weekend. If you know your history, then you know exactly what that all entails. It's just amazing how over the decades, what first started off, oh, Christopher Columbus, it's now just morphed into this whole different thing. It's not even about Columbus anymore, which is really badass. Again, if you know your history. All right, let's go ahead and dive into this. Look, overall, solid Crown Jewel Perth event. Was this one of those type of shows where maybe you had to deal with work, or maybe you had some classes and it was one of those, hey, what say you, Lee? Did I miss out on anything special? Was this worth maybe skipping work or school? Was it worth getting up at 8 in the morning and checking it out? No. Honestly, no. If you have the mindset right now of, you know what, I will check this out later on demand, you're okay. That's fine. As long as you are able to check it out before the new week of WWE television programming, then I would say you're good to go. But if you had the free time and you wanted to be in on the discussion, or you wanted to ride the waves of some of the in-ring action that was going on tonight, I would say that, or this morning, whatever, however you want to freaking Jesus, then I would say you were in a really good position. You got treated to some really good stuff. So Seth Rollins, remember 3-0 against Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes with the three, Seth Rollins with the O. So every time Cody Rhodes having his number. This time, Seth Rollins extinguishing that demon. Rollins getting the job done by crook. I mean, it was hook and by crook that Seth Rollins got the job done, but he won that Crown Jewel Men's Championship, got the ring and everything. I was a little bit surprised that when Triple H Paul Levesque entered the ring afterwards to present Rollins the championship in the ring, Rollins didn't talk mad trash at him and maybe shoved him away, because we have heard Triple H in some interviews. We've even seen him post some things on social media boosting Cody Rhodes. As a matter of fact, the most recent post that Triple H put out there was about 2 days ago before Crown Jewel. And he was admiring Cody Rhodes, admiring his work ethic, going over the fact that this guy, here he is, he's been doing all these media rounds, and he barely has been sleeping, and yet he's able to go in. He's able to get in a couple of hours at the gym, and he even referred to Cody as QB1. And I was just looking at that, and I even commented on it. I commented with a Seth Rollins gift, just kind of going, I wonder if we're planting some seeds here, of maybe a little bit of trash talking that's going to go down between Rollins and Triple H at some point. Now, look, they've got the post show underway right now, so maybe, just maybe, something will happen verbally between Rollins and Triple H. But if it does not happen, talk about a golden missed opportunity right there to really, yeah, now you want to put me on a pedestal. Now you want to boost me, right? Now you want to give me my flowers. You want to praise me. That's not what you said just the other day. I saw the stuff you was putting out there on Cody. Just kind of have that in the back of your head. Again, be a missed opportunity if they did not go in that direction. Paul Heyman really setting the tone for this match between Rollins and Rhodes early in the night, letting Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed know, hey, this match between Rhodes and Rollins, we can't interfere in this one. If Rollins is going to get the job done, he's got to do it on his own. It just has to be that way. And B&B, they were not fans of hearing it, but they also understood the significance of this match, and they honored Paul Heyman's wishes and stayed out of it. I thought for sure we were going to maybe see some type of cameo appearance by these guys, but no, they went on ahead. So that kind of puts a nice, pretty little ribbon around, okay, so who really is the leader here when it comes to the vision? Is it really all about Rollins, or is Heyman the one? It was just kind of nice to see Paul Heyman let these guys know this is how it has to be. This is what we need to honor. So let's stick to it. It's kind of nice to see that level of, because B&B could have easily said, nah, the hell with this. He's our leader. We're going to be there for his corner no matter what. Like, let's go ahead. Let's do this damn thing. But that's not how it went at all. Picking it up. By the way, this match went about 30 minutes. This main event match between Rollins and Rhodes. Nice little bit of back and forth in this one. Towards the end of it, we saw Rollins firing back as he and Rhodes started trading blows. Crowd definitely, by the time we got to this main event match, you could tell the crowd was ready for the exit. I mean, they were just burned out. And look, not for nothing, this event was only a 3.5 hour event, give or take. That's not really that much. I mean, that's pretty much almost almost a regular edition of SmackDown. Sometimes maybe well, it's definitely not an episode of Raw these days because Raw is usually averaging anywhere from 2 hours, 20 minutes to 2 hours and 35 minutes. But yeah, the Australian crowd, a little bit long winded there. Honestly, couple of points throughout this night. The crowd was really, really there. They were into it, heavily invested. And then there were other times where the crowd just seemed like they really were disengaged. This main event was definitely one of those. I mean, getting past the entrances for both guys, which they were very into, maybe the first half of this match, you could say the crowd was into it. Afterwards, yeah, could they have trimmed the main event match a little bit? Yeah, they definitely could have. But anyway, Rollins, Rhodes, trading blows. Rollins with a Kawada kick, Codes counters with one of his own. Cody tries to go for the Tiger Driver. Rollins barely escapes it, heads out to the ring. And at this point, somehow the referee ended up taking a bump. Something happened with the referee. He's basically distracted. Rollins is looking at the watch, that damn watch. You just kind of figured, this watch. We keep going back to this watch. It's a very beautiful watch. Your father gave me this watch for safekeeping. This watch, this beautiful watch. I had to hide it, so I hid it up my ass. But anyway, you knew that watch was going to come into play, and sure enough, that watch did come into play. Rollins struggled at first with that watch. He really was not trying to use it. And he decided, now you know what? I got to do this the right way. If I'm going to win this, I got to win this the right way. So I love seeing the internal struggle that was going on there with Rollins. Right. But then Rollins eventually just said, you know what? Fuck this. He just threw caution into the wind and pretty much said, you know what? It's going to be what it's going to be, hook or by crook. I'm getting this damn championship. I'm getting this W over Cody Rhodes. Um, Rollins ends up wrapping the watch shortly afterwards around his fist, clocks Cody with it. Somehow, referee does not see that watch or whatever. That pretty much sets up Rollins to go for not one stomp, but then he goes for a super stomp from the middle, almost top rope to secure the victory there. But I got to tell you, they did not need 30 minutes for this. And as a result of that, they really hurt the crowd here. They really hurt the crowd as far as their patience. Did not need this. You could have easily gone. I think what would have been fair is if they would have went about 22 minutes. I think if they would have went 22 minutes, that would have been okay. The finish, ah, eh. But overall, the work between both men, chemistry, all that, definitely gelled very, very well together. Rollins winning, it made all the sense in the world. I know for some people, they're going to find that to be not a cool option. I know some people probably were maybe looking for CM Punk to maybe interfere, try to get a little bit of a one up there on Rollins. But all things considered, as cool as an idea as that is, everybody, the one thing that we need to remember is, CM Punk, he's kind of doing this triad thing with LA Knight and Jey Uso. That kind of needs to map itself out, flesh itself out, because you just kind of figure that amongst those men, somebody's going to be moving forward to take on Seth Rollins for the championship before the year is out. At this point, it really feels like, but Yeah, they had to go with Seth Rollins on this one, and love the guy, hate him. Like, I see a lot of the complaints that's out there. I get where a lot of you guys are coming from, but right now this is all about the Seth Rollins show. And it is about continuing to build that foundation of Rollins and this new stable that he's got going on and everything. I gotta say, as long as I have been following the career of Seth Rollins, this is the most interesting I've been in his respective character and arc. Because I think when it's really said and done, there's so many dynamics going on here. You've got the B&B. Boy, that's a triple B actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because we got Becky Lynch factored in there as well. So you got that, the Heyman effect. But then I'm also looking particularly at Braun Breaker, because you do this right with this stable, you can do to Braun Breaker what Evolution essentially did for Dave Batista. So, I'm very, very curious to see how all those dynamics work itself out and ultimately elevating Braun Breaker and everything. So, but and it seems like Rollins is really at a more, what's the right words I'm looking for with Rollins? It seems like Rollins is finally coming full circle, and he really kind of comes off like he's starting to have fun, that he's just being loose with it, especially creatively. He's just going with the flow. And when you're loose like that and you're not overthinking it, it makes solid TV. He's been putting out some pretty solid work. Definitely on the microphone. I definitely feel that this go round, having this stronger cast, supporting cast at that, it's really helping the guy out 10 times more again than the previous years. That might be an unpopular opinion, but that's how I'm rolling with that one. Kicking things off, by the way, I did not check out the pre-show, so if there's any interesting little tidbits you guys want to share with me in the community, you guys can definitely sound off. But no way, no how was I getting up any extra earlier to check that crap out. Good crap, but I wasn't interested in that. Kicking things off was Roman Reigns losing to Bronson Reed in a Australian street fight. Nice, fun little plunder of a match here. I don't think, and Bronson Reed going over about 22 minutes. I don't feel this match was overbooked. I know some people were looking at this one and they kind of felt this match was overbooked. I did not feel this was overbooked at all. This was actually what I expected. I expected for B&B, Breaker, Bronson to interfere. I also expected for the Usos to get involved, pretty much come to Roman's defense and all that, come to his aid. Went down exactly how I thought it was all going to go down. I think if it would have been overbooked, if you want to talk about true overbooking, overbooking would have been on top of all of those guys. You then add LA Knight and you add CM Punk. Then it really would have been overkill, right? For sure. But just those four men getting involved in this, no, I think that was the right level that you needed to put in there and everything. Because if you've been truly following the story arc, then you go, yo, Jay Uso's been taking pointers from Roman Reigns. He's been calling him up there and trying to take his game to the next level. So it pretty much makes all the sense in the world that Jay wants to try to be there for Roman and everything. And that's besides how Jimmy might feel about the whole situation. But Jimmy has already shown, no matter what, no matter how conflicted he might feel, no matter the reasoning behind his family members, he's going to always do the right thing. And he's going to stick with his family. He's going to support his family no matter what. delicate position it puts Jimmy in, but he's going to be there regardless. So to see all these personalities combined in this match, no, I actually was fine with how things was set up here. Um, Kind of interesting how everything had played itself out. So basically, final moments of this matchup. Once the Usos got involved. And by the way, there's one spot that I was really, really cautious about, and it's really a cautionary tale. It's a friendly reminder when you're doing spots outside the ring and you're gonna do something with a announcer's table, you really got to make sure that you're doing your due diligence, minding your surroundings, but particularly making sure that foreign objects on that table, you're really clearing everything out. Go back and watch this. So we had Bronson Reed and Breaker. They were setting up Roman Reigns for a power bomb through the announcer's table. So the announcer's table was already cleared. So you think. But then right when they get ready to do the power bomb to Roman Reigns, and keep in mind, Usos didn't even come out yet. We're still a few minutes away from them coming out. But once they power bombed him, as Roman is getting ready to crash through the table, you can't help it. At least I noticed it. Maybe a lot of you guys missed it, but I just noticed these things off the break. Maybe it's because I've got that media production background now and all that, right? But I noticed there was this big ass white strip brick outlet that just had a whole bunch of cords and all that shit. And boy, I tell you, if it would have been for Roman Reigns, if his body would have been anywhere but like a half inch closer to that strip, that's all I got to say. Go back, you'll see what I'm talking about. I was really, really concerned. That was too. Some people may look at that and say, Lee, he was nowhere near. No, for me, nowhere near is when you go, okay, it was about 2 feet away. Okay, sure. If you say to me, it was a foot away, he was okay, sure. Anything less than that, that's a little bit too close for my comfort, right? And it was pretty close. That that brick, that electrical brick, there and everything. Especially if we're talking the way Roman lands, if it's a case where the lower part of his back kind of hits that strip, like you don't want that. You don't want that. So, but luckily, nothing weird happened. But yeah, Usos came out balancing things out. Fast forward a little bit. Uh, I think it was Jay, thought he saw a position where he could spear the hell out of Bronson. Bronson gets out the way in time. Jay ends up inadvertently spearing the hell out of Roman through a through a table that was set up in the corner. So that was a pretty sweet spot there. And then from there, Braun comes in with his own spear, negated Jimmy. Breaker setting it up for Bronson to hit the tsunami from the top rope. Boom. 1, 2, 3. That pretty much was the end of that. Post match, we hear a lot of trash talking that's going on there afterwards from Roman. Pretty much telling Jimmy and Jay, I'm getting tired of this shit. And he actually did say that word for word. He said, I'm getting tired of this shit. The other thing that it seems that Roman had said, he says there's only one way that this will work. There's only one way, and that he loves them, but he doesn't want to see them until Christmas. And then he rolls out. So yeah, Roman Roman was pretty peed off on this one. I don't think it's going to be that long. I think Christmas is maybe more so like War Games, right? Survivor Series. Maybe maybe that's when the family will come together and all that good stuff. But definitely Trouble in Paradise. But wait, it gets worse. After Roman Reigns rolls out, Jey Uso, I guess he decides to take his frustrations out, even though he was the one that pretty much cost Roman the win and everything. Because Roman even said to them during his little tirade post match, told you guys I had this. This is why I didn't want you guys to come out here and everything. But after Roman makes his exit, uh, Jay, I guess he decides rather than man up and take self accountability, he, as we've seen these past several weeks, uses Jimmy as his punching bag, verbally trashes him, pretty much tells him, "Psh, I don't need this crap anymore. You know, the hell wrong with you, man," and pretty much leaves Jimmy hanging. So going into Monday's Raw, that's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see the Usos interacting with one another, dealing with all that post fallout. Wonder if we're gonna get Roman on Monday. It's a very interesting question. Wonder if we're going to get him. We'll have to wait and see. By the way, remember Monday Night Raw special start time for us in the United States because they're going to be coming to us live from Perth, Australia again. So for here in the United States, we'll get Raw live at 8 a.m. Eastern, 5 a.m. Pacific. What does that mean for our post show? Normally we come on after Raw, right? Longtime listeners, you know this. I'm not doing a post show after, no, because that basically would mean Raw probably wouldn't go off until 10:30, maybe 10:45 in the morning. So that's like 7 something in the morning on the West. No, we're not doing that. So instead, what we're going to do, we'll come on at 8 p.m. Eastern. Again, 8 p.m. Eastern is when we'll come on. So if you're around, come on, hop in, tune in. We'll have some fun. Next matchup on the night. Women's Crown Jewel Championship. Stephanie Vaquer getting the W there over Tiffany Stratton. Uh, you know, solid matchup. About 11, 12 minutes, give or take. Solid matchup. You know, it's interesting what's going on with Tiffany. I was asking people to chat me up a little bit about Tiff because I hadn't checked SmackDown now in the past couple of weeks. I got the most recent episode on DVR. I can't wait to watch it as I heard Shinsuke Nakamura returned. So hopefully he's back. You know, it's not one of those Groundhog Day type of deals where he pops up once and, you know, we don't see him again for like a couple of months. So I'm interested to see because I guess he accepted the Sami Zayn open challenge there. So I definitely want to watch SmackDown. But I was asking people to chat me up about Stratton. You know, what's been going on with her? Like, besides this feud with, well, not even a feud, but just this Crown Jewel match with Vaquer. You know, what else is new with her? And boy, I tell you, everybody was telling me, nah, 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 nothing. There's nothing going on with her. She's the drizzles. And I'm going, whoa, what's causing all this? Where's everybody coming from with the, you know, used to be a time where everybody was loving them some Tiffany Stratton. And yeah, it's just so interesting now. Like, it seems like at least a core group of folks, you know, don't hate Tiffany. They're just saying, look, she's okay in the ring, but there's nothing to be desired personality wise. She needs to flush out more of her persona. And, you know, to WWE's credit and fault, maybe they brought her up a little too soon. You know, maybe they need to have her work a little bit more on personality and everything. Look, I even saw some people saying, look, she needs to go back to NXT or hell, maybe even send her to TNA. And, you know, she's almost kind of getting the Charlotte Flair vibes a little bit there. Not going over well, it seems, with folks. And for the Australian crowd and attendance, a little bit lukewarm towards Tiff, but a little bit lukewarm towards Stephanie Vaquer as well. But if you had to choose between the two, the crowd definitely much more appreciative and receptive to Vaquer and everything. But yeah, I just was quite taken back by what I was hearing from Tiffany. Do you agree with those points that folks are making about her? Sound off. Let me and the rest of the community know, because I don't know. Maybe that's just one side. Maybe that's not how the majority of fans feel. Maybe it's a different direction. I'm most curious there, but um, okay, match. It was okay. I could tell that the care was kind of rustling down a little bit to compliment Tiffany Stratton. And there's nothing wrong with that. Seriously, there's nothing wrong with that. What are you guys barking about? I tell you what, my kids, they hear something and they just go batshit crazy. I don't know. They got voices in their head. I don't know what's going on with them. Solid matchup though. Stephanie Vaquer going over. My God, I mean, this girl cannot do anything wrong. I mean, everything that this woman touches, I mean, it's solid. Overall, damn good performer. She is quickly getting down the English language. I got to give her credit, a lot of credit there. She is getting it down, but there's just something when I hear her talk English. I think I don't know. There's something that just makes me go, "Wow, you talking English just sounds so sexy." Like I love it. I just like her accent when she's talking English. I don't know what it is, um, but she's got to be one of those rare people who, like, every time I see her on my screen, I gotta stop what I'm doing and I gotta, she's mesmerizing. She's captivating. She has really great on screen presence. She's got a very cool, unique look. It's almost kind of a Angelina Jolie, Shannon Doherty meets Priscilla Presley. She's got like this weird combination thing that's going on. Very, very captivating there. A bit of an average match between the two. Like I said, I've seen better Stephanie Vaquer matches. I could tell she was really playing down to Tiffany's level and everything. It was okay for what it was worth. I think the right woman did go over though in this. It just would have been kind of silly. You do all this with Stephanie Vaquer. She finally gets the women's championship, but then you have her lose pretty much at the next PLE to Tiff Stratton. Like, no, like Stephanie Vaquer, bright, bright career ahead of her. I mean, she's white hot right now. You got to go with what's white hot right now. So, Tiffany, it's interesting because, you know, talk about a shift, right? One is on the decline and the other, it continues to ascend. Very interesting. See, next up, definitely the match of the entire night. I said, and when I was offering match predictions, that this was likely going to be a match of the year candidate. It definitely lived up to that and then some. Definitely quite a joy for me. Of course, I'm talking about John Cena versus AJ Styles. Yo, to see AJ come out pushing TNA wrestling gear. Oh, I was on cloud nine. I mean, he was pushing the shorts and everything. I was on cloud nine seeing that. I'm going, yeah. I was even going, yo, anyway, we can see AJ with the short hair one more time, right? But no, AJ went retro with his look. It was really badass. And apparently John Cena had announcer Alicia Taylor do a special in-ring intro for AJ, which was really, really cool. Talked about his time as the leader of the Bullet Club, TNA original, face that runs the place. It was really, really cool how they did this. John Cena. picking up the W, about 28 minutes. This was definitely a special kind of moment. Man, it felt like we were watching a damn time capsule right here, and just all the nostalgia that was going on in this one. John Cena really pulling out all the stops all those years. I can even remember for as long as we have been doing this show, constantly hearing John Cena and the five moves of doom and everything. And it's just been so refreshing to see John Cena bust out all kinds of different moves, paying homage to some of his greatest rivals, and no different in this matchup, paying homage to Rusev. My God, who else was in there? Chris Jericho. Oh man, there were so many names. I mean, goddamn, we'd be spending like 5 minutes going over all the names. He even tried to pull off a 619 at the request of the fans. Fans were actually chanting for the 619. And God bless John Cena, because John Cena just pretty much pulled that audible. Normally we could hear John Cena when he's yelling audibles, but I don't know. I guess somehow John Cena quietly got the message to AJ, let's go for the 619, but you just gonna have to counter my ass off the ropes, like, because I already know I can't do that move. And sure enough, John Cena sets up AJ, then goes back to the other ropes, runs, and AJ clocks his ass. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Good stuff. But John Cena busting out all the stops, man. There was even a dead eye that was in there that definitely had got some folks talking, uh, especially the AEW fans. It definitely got them talking. AJ hitting sweet chin music on Cena. I mean, it was like, what the hell were they not doing in this one? RKO from Cena, the Sister Abigail, which got a really huge pop from the Australian crowd. Um, Pedigree attempt was made. I mean, there was all kinds of stuff that was going on in this one. And I loved how this match ended because, granted, I will address this. Some people may feel that this match had too many spammed signature moves and finishers. This is one of those rare instances where I go, who gives a fuck? Because we're talking John Cena. We're talking about somebody that, after he's got four more matches now. Four more matches, and that's it. Right? So this is his farewell tour. I'm okay with it. I am okay with it, right? I know sometimes we see stuff when we're looking at other wrestling promotions and they are always spamming the hell out of signatures and all that. Let's give WWE a little bit of credit where credit is due. They aren't really known for having their wrestlers go out and just spam the hell out of signatures and finishing moves, left and right in almost every single match that's on the card. So to have everything pretty much be designated for this match involving these two people, I'm totally okay with it. And I'm definitely okay with this. This was a very nice touch that WWE did. I can't wait to hear who the producers were for these matches, but particularly this John Cena AJ match, because you have all these signature moves that's going on. And I'm going at one point thinking to myself, won't we just do a damn, choke slam then? How about a Kane or a Undertaker choke slam? Sure enough, we get that. I go, well, shit, you gonna do that? Why not do a tombstone pile driver? But then I was thinking to myself, but do you kick out from the tombstone pile driver? Probably not, right? But then it's kind of one of those, all right, but you use somebody else's move to pick up the win. Is that how we really? If you're going to do a tombstone pile driver, that definitely has to be it. Like the match is now over somehow. maybe you immediately go into another move and then the match is over. This was all like in my head as I'm watching all these other finishing moves and stuff that's going down. And then sure enough, John Cena sets up Styles for a tombstone pile driver. And then he immediately chains it into a attitude adjustment, picks up the 1, 2, 3. Nice little rebound there from Brock Lesnar, which I will go on record again because I did state it on the last post show. Cena had no business losing to Brock Lesnar. No business losing to Brock Lesnar. That was just one of the silliest ass, like, shouldn't have happened. This was a really cool moment right here. I love seeing Cena and AJ pay homage to, not just their lengthy careers, but also to some of their rivals that they respect a great deal and everything. You're talking about two men that have definitely transformed and transcend the industry as we know it. You're talking about two guys that for many, many years were the quarterbacks for their respected promotions. And here they are, giving us this great joy of a moment as wrestling fans. I think what's probably one of the greatest travesties of them all is that we didn't get enough rivalries there, spammed out between AJ and John Cena, like with Cena and Edge and Cena and Orton and Cena and Batista and Cena and Angle and Cena and insert. It's just insane that we didn't get to see a lot more of them locking it up in the WWE, man. But this was good. This was good. I got a little melancholy and all kinds of good stuff. This was great. This was great though on a whole lot of levels. So it was nice to see AJ really, really Muhammad. We've been mentioned Jericho. We've been mentioned Jericho. It was nice seeing these two guys lock up one more time. I'm glad that WWE listened to the fans and they gave us this matchup. Because look, when it's all said and done, we all can be in agreement that the way this John Cena farewell tour has gone, not the way many of us were expecting it to go. Definitely a lot of head scratching moments, and any one of us, especially if you like picking up the video games and you're into your WWE 2K, we all could have booked a better farewell for John Cena. Fact. That's a fact. We don't need to spend several minutes fantasy booking. It's just a fact, right? So these four matches now, and keep in mind, in case you missed it as you watched this event earlier, John Cena said to Stu when he came out, great entrance too. Love the way the stage was designed. From a media production standpoint, the arena that they were in and the way they had everything set up, very, very good. Apparently, they said it was a sold out crowd. So if that holds up, and they were at the RAC Arena out there in Western Australia, Perth. I'm trying to see if I have the official attendance number. Not seeing it right now, but WWE did say at the top when they were welcoming fans in for this event that it was sold out. But yeah, I mean, massive arena. I mean, my God, love the great vantage points that WWE was giving us, letting us see that every single seat in that arena was filled. Even the nosebleed seats was pretty filled up as well. Uh, Great lighting. I didn't notice any audio issues. Didn't notice any technical issues. Everything seemed to be pretty on point for the most part there. Um, but John Cena, Heroes Ovation, damn good strong ovation. Probably the best ovation of the night. Definitely the best reaction of the night for John Cena there. But just watching two of these guys just go at it. Yeah, yeah. I definitely was kind of feeling a little bit sad. Four more matches to go, and John Cena had mentioned right before he went in the ring. He said to Stu, the camera guy, you know, last out of country PLE appearance. So everything else is now going to be back on USA turf for John Cena. Remember, his final appearance is going to be happening right here in the nation's capital of Washington, D.C. And before you even ask, no, I'm not going. I'm not going. No. I did look at the ticket prices. Way, way, way too expensive for my blood. I was telling the wife about it, and she was like, wow, that's just for one person? I said, that's just for one person. She goes, yeah, nah, for that same amount of money, we could like go get a Airbnb for a day or two, and, just chill. Or we could, I don't know, fix the knock sensor in your car. I'm like, yeah, that's true. So I was like, no, I'm good. I'm not going. I think the only way I would go is if like somebody I'm connected to, maybe somebody I know somehow, they go, "Hey, got an extra ticket. You want to tag along? You don't have to pay for the ticket. Just bring yourself." I think that's the only way I can see myself going. But yeah, John Cena's only got four more matches, and that is pretty much gonna be it. See what else is going on here. I will say this before we move along. I hope that everybody involved with John Cena's farewell, I hope they're learning from the mistakes that they've made. And since AJ has already announced that 2026 is going to be his final year, I really hope that they do their best to have AJ go out on the right note. And with this partnership that they got going on with TNA Wrestling, I expect nothing but a really good send off for AJ in his final year. So, all right, so that match out the way. I think we got one more match that we can talk about, which is the tag team match between Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, going up against the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. This was the only match I did not get right. I offered predictions. By the way, shout out to our followers on TikTok. One of our followers on TikTok had said, "Lee, just a heads up, your video is has a warning label." I was like, "What?" Like, yeah, it's got a warning label, and I didn't think about it at the time, but I had put this weird filter on, and basically, yeah, you know what? It could cause seizures. Like shit, I'm not using that filter anymore. But I was offering match predictions for Crown Jewel Perth, and for this match, I said, "Yo, Kabuki Warriors with the win." I didn't even think about the fact that, oh shit, Rhea Ripley is from this neck of the woods, right? She's from Australia. I didn't even think about that. It just went in one ear and out the other. Seriously. I mean, not for nothing, Rhea Ripley's been like weirdly popping up on Monday Night Raw sporadically. Like right down to the point, she didn't even pop up, if I'm not mistaken, on the Go Home show this week, which had me kind of wondering, as well as a couple other people, hey, is Rhea Ripley even going to be on the show? So, had that really synced in, I definitely would have gone the other way. But at the same time, I legit, I felt that Io was maybe going to side with Asuka and Kairi Sane. Shout out to WWE for trying to bridge the gap here and making fans understand why Io is in this position that she's in against the Kabuki Warriors. Michael Cole really threading that needle, trying to help fans understand from a cultural perspective how And given the reference there, going way back to when Kairi, Asuka, Io, their ties in Japan and tying in Japanese wrestling, and how Asuka pretty much took them on as pupils and like if you were to read Shinsuke Nakamura's book from the moment that he started getting into wrestling, it is, man, it is such a honor code system that they got going on out there in Japan when you're trying to go through the ranks and all that. You're trying to learn versus how it is, in the United States. Oh, you pay somebody this money, and then you show up a couple of times a week, and then you get your training on, and it is a polar opposite in Japan, right? So I loved how Michael Cole was really weaving it in, and I'm going, that's good, but now we need to take that and we need to translate that to some really good visual storytelling for fans for programming purposes because just name dropping it and spending a minute talking about it, I mean, that's great, but it's really going to go in one ear and out the other for fans because they're focusing more on the in-ring action. So because remember what I was saying about 2 weeks ago, I said something along the lines of, hey, for those that really don't know the history with these women, WWE needs to do a better job in really bridging and helping fans understand. Because you're looking at Kairi saying, like, okay, does Asuka have like some type of, I don't know, explicit pictures of Kairi in an uncompromising position? Like, right, she got some type of leverage. Like, what the hell's going on here? Why is so? Kudos to WWE, like, effectively during this event, letting fans know this is the deal. Because I didn't really hear that before. It was almost like non-existent. But now visually, you got to build upon that. Fun tag match with everybody involved. Io and Rhea going over. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. I actually feel that the Kabuki Warriors should have won this, but that's just me personally. Final moments of this matchup. Rhea's still the legal person. By the way, sick ass elbow. No, was it an elbow? No, it was a headbutt. It's a sick ass headbutt that Rhea and I think it was Asuka. Sick ass headbutts when they had collided. That was some good stuff. Rhea manages to get Asuka up, drops her on her face in the corner. Rhea then pulls Asuka up on the ropes, wants to try to do an avalanche riptide, but Kairi Sane managed to get in a blind tag that the ref sees, but Rhea does not see it and everything. Sane pushes Asuka out the way from the side ropes. Shout out to Kairi Sane, by the way, because she was bumping like a motherfucker in this one. She was bumping like HBK Shawn Michaels there. Boot to the face for Kairi. Riptide followed up on Sane. Rhea ends up tagging in Io for the over the moonsault. And that pretty much had got the W there for the girls. A little bit of a long-winded match here as well. You're looking at about almost 22 minutes. Think that could have been trimmed down just a little bit more. Maybe they could have tried to go for 15, but overall, all four of these women, solid work from everybody involved, particularly Asuka, definitely Kairi, because Kairi was the bumping spot monkey in this one. See, I'm just trying to think anything else. I'm trying to think of anything else. I guess it's safe to say that Io is not going to be turning. I mean, this would have been the time and the place, and you definitely had the right type of crowd to do it in front of because this crowd was a pro Rhea Ripley crowd who was somebody else that the crowd popped for. So, if you wanted to turn the tides here, this would have been the right place for it, but it seems that the powers that be in WWE, they want to see EO remain a face, which I'm honestly okay with. I think some of EO's best work is actually as a babyface. I don't really think she does being a bad guy that well. That's just me personally. I don't really like her as a heel. I think Asuka, I mean, however you need Asuka, she's just able to continue. She's plug and play. She's perfect. Kairi in the position that she's in, that's great. But sooner or later, you know, Kari is just gonna have enough, and she's just gonna be like, "F you and F you." I'm just gonna go do my own damn thing. Thank you very much. Um, can't wait to see what happens going forward now, because one thing that was, I would say, kind of interesting was as Crown Jewel was going off the air, they had the two winners for those respected Crown Jewel championships, Rollins and Vaquer, in the ring. And I don't know, there's something about that just looked kind of, this is interesting. And I couldn't help but wonder if Rollins, because everything that was being said was inaudible. So I couldn't help but wonder to myself, is Rollins saying to Vaquer, hey, you all right and all, but you got nothing on my baby, the man? Couldn't help but wonder that. And you know what time it is. You know you gotta have Becky Lynch cross paths backstage this coming Monday's Raw, looking on at the care. You know, hey, that was a real nice job. Yeah, I saw what you did. Yeah, you on cloud nine right now, huh? You know, well, I'm on cloud nine right now too. Like, it's an inevitable collision here, man. It really, really is an inevitable collision. And then you got Rhea Ripley, who is trying to get back her championship. She's pretty much already let the cure know she got next. You know, so you got that little fun dynamic going on as well. But is that still going to be something ultimately that'll happen for Ripley in the near future? Or is she still going to continue to be tied up there with the Kabuki Warriors? It kind of feels that way to me. I don't truly feel it's a definitive EO, Rhea, they are officially done with the Kabuki Warriors. Doesn't feel like that just yet. Feels like there's still some more layers to be unpeeled from all those girls going at it. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. Besides that, you know, I will say this. I will say this about this edition of Crown Jewel. It really feels as though WWE, and I've been saying this off and on for about the past 2 years now, that WWE, so make no mistake about this, that WWE has been trying to figure it out with these Crown Jewel events. Okay? They've been trying to figure it out. And so to finally get a Crown Jewel that, okay, well, look, this ain't a Crown Jewel in Saudi, it's a Crown Jewel in Australia, right? And like the recurring gag when it's come to these Crown Jewel shows, yeah, you ain't missing nothing. You don't need to trip over the quality. You know, it's a nothing burger. You ain't missing nothing. It's just a glorified house show. We're good. Just catch the clips, catch the highlights on YouTube. Well, here WWE said, no, you know what? We're going to up the ante on this one. We're going to give some really solid ass quality matches. We're going to try to do our best to make this as close to a must-see show as possible. So with your main meat and potatoes, John Cena versus AJ Styles, banger. And then you got Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, okay, a banger. And then you sandwich in there pretty solid one-on-one match between Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns. Anytime you can put me in a position where I basically go, okay, so out of the 5 matches that we got on the card, the only match that if I really had to push back and say, I probably could have done without it. And I don't like saying this, but I probably could have done without Stephanie Vaquer and the Tiffany Stratton match. I probably could have done without that one. Straight up. I probably could have done without that one. No fault to Vaquer. Vaquer did nothing wrong. It just was one of those deals where, as I mentioned several minutes ago, Vaquer just seemed as though she was playing down to Tiffany Stratton. And it's like, no. Tiffany Stratton been champion and all. No. So she needs to raise her game up. She needs to come to Stephanie's level. Wasn't really a fan of that one. Definitely length of time, a bit of an issue as well. But eh, that's all I gotta say. Women's tag match, that was fine. Crowd seemed to kind of come up a little bit when it came to all of that, especially with Rhea Ripley in action and everything. Definitely one of the more put together Crown Jewel shows, I would say, compared to the other ones. So good stuff. All right, I didn't do any polls. If you guys notice, I did no polls for this one. I said, fuck the polls. At this point, I want you guys that saw Crown Jewel Perth. You guys can sound off. Let me know what you thought about the event. You can hit me up with comments, even all throughout social media. You guys can definitely do that as well. We did pretty good. We are at an hour and 1 minute. Hey, before we get ready and dip out, I definitely want to give a shout out to some of our sponsors, because without them, content like what you're checking out right now would not be made possible. And we got some lovely sponsors I definitely want to tell you about. First of all, shout out to one of our newest sponsors, Terra Paul Premium.com. That's spelled TERRA Paul, like Triple H Paul Levesque, Premium. TerraPaulPremium.com. Wake up your senses with bold flavor and smooth vibes. Terra Paul Premium brings you top tier coffee and teas crafted for people who love quality, energy, and good taste. And for a lot of you guys, I know waking up as early as you did here in the USA, you definitely need some coffee and tea right now. From rich blends to chill herbal sips, they've got your daily fuel covered. Check them out today. TerraPaulPremium.com. Happy to have them on board as a sponsor of the RCWR show with Lee Sanders. And also, I want to give a shout out to my good friends over at the IME Radio music station. Again, the IME Radio station, streaming 24/7, your global soundtrack featuring the hottest indie artists from the 90s to 2000s. They got some nice throwbacks in there, mixed in with today's top 40 hits. Think of it as a world tour for your ears, delivering crowd favorites and hidden gems from the US, Europe, Canada. Tune in, vibe out, and discover your next favorite track. Once again, the IME Radio station, streaming 24/7. Love those guys. I've been checking them out off and on past couple of weeks. Some good stuff. And last but not least, let's see here. So we got that. There we go. And then last but not least, yeah, there we go. I'm still figuring these transition stingers out, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Last but not least, we're brought to you by our good friends over at the I Want to Learn SQL.com. Your hands-on gateway to mastering SQL, whether you're starting from scratch or upgrading your data skills. I Want to Learn SQL.com. Put structured lessons, real-world exercises, and clear explanations at your fingertips. From databases to building reports, they make learning SQL practical, approachable, and actually fun. If you're ready to level up your game, visit iwanttolearnsql.com and start getting confident with SQL today. Your next Pivot in tech begins with a solid query. I want to learn SQL.com. We appreciate all of these great sponsors of the RCWR show with Lee Sanders. You guys can also check out the Patreon page if you want to treat me to a cup of coffee. You appreciate everything that I do. Patreon.com/the RCWR show. We got all those links in the video description of this episode. And we're also available wherever you get your podcasts. Been checking out the analytical numbers for that. You guys been representing. Appreciate that. And keep it rocking, keep it rolling. Show the YouTube channel some love. I see YouTube has some new updates that's going to be coming down the pipeline in a couple of weeks. I am looking forward to taking advantage of a lot of those. We'll talk about some of those updates more on Monday and let you guys know how you can do your part. But if you haven't done so already, make sure you show some love to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/the RCWR show. For this very episode you're watching right now, go give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. So your next edition of the RCWR show going to be coming at you guys Monday night, October 13th, 2025, 8 p.m. Eastern. Do not be hopping on YouTube at like 10:30, 11 a.m. on Monday expecting a post show. We ain't rolling like that. I don't care what time. Raw could be on for an hour this coming Monday. No. All right, so mark it down. Monday night, October 13th, 2025, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll do our regular edition of the RCWR show. We'll bounce around all over the place. Some of the stories that I'm working on covering, besides Raw Fallout, reacting to Raja Jackson. He has put in a plea of not guilty. We'll also talk about Justin Credible. He has made headlines again, and not in a very good way. Other news, little tidbits that we'll be able to get into. Hey, before we get ready to dip out, two shout outs. One shout out I want to give to Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette, and I will actually be checking this out. Jim Cornette has a new book that is on sale now. It's called Heroes and Friends. And Heroes and Friends is a lavishly illustrated 100-page 8x5 by 11 book that it's a collector's book that any wrestling fan will want for their library or coffee table. 12 wrestling superstars and are being remembered for their great careers in this one. So we're talking Bruno Sammartino, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Vader, The Sheik. There's many, many more. It is on sale now. And the price for this is $24.95. Each book can be personally autographed to you per specifications, your specifications, by Jim Cornette himself. So again, if you want this personalized from Jim Cornette himself, please specify what you would like written. If you leave it blank, Jim will basically sign it, your friend, Jim Cornette. So check that out. And then also, I want to give a shout out to the friends and family of Travis at Beyond Comics. Travis had been battling a lot of health problems for many, many years. And Travis, he passed away just a couple of days ago from what his family had shared. He passed away peacefully, quietly, in his sleep. But Travis was struggling for many, many, many years. Travis was cool. This one definitely kind of hits a little personal for me. He's a couple of years older than Kev Castle, which, as many of you guys know, I did take the passing of Kev Castle pretty hard. Travis passing hits me on a personal level, because I remember about 4 years ago, I walked into this particular comic store at the recommendation of a friend. And because I was telling a friend of mine, I said, dude, I have not collected a comic book in like over 20 years. Can you maybe tell me, where could I go? And my friend was like, oh, go check out these guys over here. Like every time I go, like they're always so helpful. And so one of the very first people at this store that I met was a guy named Travis. And I said to Travis, I felt like my favorite album by Marvin Gaye, What's Going On, right? And so I go in there and I say to Travis, hey, I haven't picked up a comic book in like 20 years. I'm interested in starting back up again, but I don't know who's who. I don't know what's what. And, he took the time out to talk to me. And he was like, well, tell me some of the stuff that you liked. What were you last checking out? And Travis came from around the counter. He had a cane and, he was struggling, but, he came from around the corner and he was taking me to, a couple of different spots. And I mean, he talked to me for like at least a half hour, and let me know what was some of the big events that was going on, why this was a big deal, all of that. Right down to, are you trying to be in and out? You just want something that you can, anytime you like, you're done, you can just dip out. I was like, yeah, dude was cool. He was very knowledgeable of his shit, man. And that form of customer service, that form of personality, that you can't teach that. You can't. You are either just a friendly person, an approachable, likable person, or you're not. And we all can admit that in today's day and age, when you got those type of really cool people in some form of customer service, that's what makes you keep coming back again and again and again, because it's really hard to come by in customer service. And because of that experience, even though it was quite far from where I live, I would make it my business to come to that particular store to check out Travis and one other guy. And yeah, but Travis hadn't been doing too good these past couple of months, and he passed away. So to the family, friends, and colleagues of Travis and everybody at Beyond Comics, definitely thinking about you guys. And other than that, I'm gonna say, that's it for now. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. I got the sun out over here at my end. It is a cool 60 degrees. I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna walk my dogs, and I am going to enjoy this crazy thing we call life, because tomorrow is not promised to anyone. I suggest you go out there if you can and do the same. Take advantage of the weekend as well. And I will join you guys this Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, for the RCWR show. Until next go round, my pretty babies, wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you guys next go round. Adios, y'all. Take care.